Well, hello everyone, hello. My previous video got some very interesting comments, and I thought since I hadn't yet taken this patch apart, I'd change a couple of things and do some further tests. They said to use a more irregular data input, so I'm taking a wave from the Hypester. That's a lot more wiggly than a triangle LFO. Look at that. So we'll have a little bit more to work with, a little bit more to sink our teeth into. And I'm still being told that the 8-bit Cipher is a sample and hold. I'm pretty sure it's not. And so for comparison, I'm multing the same clock and the same data input to the Chaos Dresno, which actually is an 8-bit analog to digital sample and hold. And I have them routed to a switch, so I can switch back and forth between the Cipher and the Dresno. And just to simplify the presentation, they will both be coming in channel 2 of Mordac's data, the blue trace. Let's set at nothing right now. But if I flip the switch up, we get CV1 from the 8-bit Cipher. And I'm just working with CV1 because that's the one that was closest to matching the data input. And as you can see, it's not going down into the negatives because the output from the Cipher is positive only. And at this rate, it's not a very close match. So let's double the clock rate. It's still not a very close match. It's roughly high when the signal is high. There seems to be a bit of lag because, as I understand it, the bits have to go through the shift register. That's why the little lights are chasing each other around in that circle. The data comes in at bit 1, and then it goes through to bit 8 and disappears. Bit 1 is seeded by the value of the data input. And I contend that it is only looking at whether that voltage is above or below the threshold. Let's increase the clock rate so that it responds faster. It's high when the voltage is high. Sure. You got that much at least. That's just because the register is emptying out faster, but there's still this lag after every peak. And what about here? These voltages don't match at all. And then right there, that voltage, that's not close. And it didn't catch this little bump at all. Because that little bump, these two bumps right here are below the threshold. That's my contention. Let's increase the clock rate some more. Let's give it a chance to try and replicate that data input. It's following it a little closer, but again, look here, this voltage is much higher than the input. And right there, where did that peak come from? That's not present in the data input. Let's boost the clock again. See if it can... No, what's happening here? These peaks are way higher than the data input. It's not... Let's increase the clock some more. Whoops, look at these peaks. They're way higher than the data input. And what happened right there? It's just not tracking very accurately. It's not behaving like a sample and hold. It's behaving like a bit register. Let me switch the switch to off and give that line a chance to flatten out. Now I'll switch to the second position, and we are now tracking the output from Dresno, which is receiving the same data input. And look at that. Look at that. Even at this rate, it is matching the shape of the data wave. Look at that. All of these lines, these horizontals where the clock pulses are, they're touching that data wave. And if I increase the clock, it increases the resolution and it matches closer and closer. Almost identical. Almost identical. There's a little bit of a lag that accounts for the clock rate. So these downward slopes are slightly behind, but they match the shape. They match the shape amazingly. Now let's switch back to the Cipher and see what it's doing at this speed. Nope. Way off. It's not a sample and hold, y'all. It's not. And why would I want it to be? I like the 8-bit cipher. I like what it does. It generates these sort of quasi-random, hard-to-predict patterns. I don't need it to be a sample and hold. It's clearly not one. And that's it. I don't think I need to talk about this anymore. I'm still puzzled at the insistence that this module is a sample and hold. I'm no longer puzzled about its behavior, though I think I know what it's doing. Anyway, I hope to be able to actually make something that sounds like music sometime soon. And until then, be cool, and I'll see you next time.